are calling on government to step in what they describe as financial exploitation by local spaza shops. The claim is that retailers are charging excessive card transaction fees, in some cases up to R5 per purchase. Newzroom Afrika is there, and Zaniko Mklaba joins us now with more. Zaniko, good morning. It's an interesting one, and just talk to us about if you have managed to, what some of these spaza shop owners are saying with regard to why they might be charging these fees, and is there some type of scale depending on the quantity of the purchase? How's all this working?
Good morning, Iman. Yes, we have been speaking to some of these shop owners throughout the morning. Actually, we've gone to an extent of trying to really, test the allegations made by some committee members by going inside the shop to really try to purchase an item, and indeed those allegations seem to have been confirmed from our own experience as I went inside one shop. So I went inside one shop to get a bottle of water, which generally, or in a standard, which has a standard price of 10 rands. So when I went to the counter to pay, I was told that, well, if you are using a card, you need to pay an extra 2 rands. And of course, the price then, went up to 12 rands instead of that 10 rands I would have paid using cash. And then the second experience that I had at a different shop, I went in to buy a loaf of bread. It was costing about 20 rands, which was the standard price. It's one of those popular brands. And of course, I was charged an extra 2 rands. And when I inquired in terms of why now, why am I being charged? They're saying that, well, it is the company. They are not saying it's the bank. They're not saying there's a regulation that they are following. They just say it is the company. And when we pressed them further, they could not really direct us or explain to us what informs that increment in terms of the price. So that has been the situation right now. And of course, in the next 2 hours, we'll be moving to the regulators who are responsible for ensuring that, well, the card payment systems are done in accordance with the country's regulations. So that has been the case and the experience that I've personally experienced myself. But right now, I am joined by some of the committee members just to share their own experience when it comes to this issue. I'm joined by Mr. Lawrence, who is an activist here in Fisherville in the Yaskei Ward 44 here in Soweto. He's joining me now. Baba, thank you very much for your time. Say, a very serious issue that residents here are complaining about. As an activist, what's your experience personally, but also what are the dangers? Some of the people are saying that, well, there's a bit of convenience because I don't need to take a taxi to go to a shopping center to withdraw money. But now we are struggling because it's costing us a lot of money.
Well, I can't have a little bit Kibona ili costi kabuona because Ariboni Tabayore, how patala moshopong, Utabilo, we are boshopong elon maybe on a irregulated Imomola on Yatsibori, Iswanticha, a scout chacha of Feta, Tekano EU, Ubutoka. So Rezana Moshopong reach about go really put out a coir and gona. Because of Nameladi taxi, Mara, we are like a Nakara or our own Alemoto, our better face, O William Fasi, our Bolai, Ilunwa Bolai. So keep put out a basketball car, I can actually tell you, we draw a bank or we draw a code, Chopin tailoring the Wadisitually Limolao, tell 1 hour or Reka Modi Chopon, then or Nag Sahona Reka Mobon. Kibiki put out a Elon airborne about pricing abona. Well, come home, illuring bar price a kahona. But one to a comora, once by Chachicho to a comora, Bascabatway, Chacha because of Babonan. Welcome Hokiban and Kawana, Kabona Carras and Twebusi, if I did more community arena, Kabona, illuring Kuri Papa to offer at some point. So Neki put out a Hiloring Wahonia, Hapapuelum Raba Lula Fasi, Babulisha, Balebel Letta Babonacatele, Swaniting, Barry Fedi Chas Children Diligan. Unlike Horikitsan Kashopong, kilo withdraw 100 rand. Barrel A, Rochacha 10 rand on top. Kisatlo ya go bank happy. I give it a go bank in Chachito, Kiberixia Kationa, go shopong 18 or go kai. So in 2020, Nekera Haba ye badi lu fast badi libele Yarabolayan to Arna Moriang or Casbel le tšhelete ya go rekela bana maswitsi wa le kopeng.
Danke, Mr. Rollins. Mama njengomama lana abantu balana ba Abraham Fisher uningi lwabo abasebenzi abanye badependa kuma-social grant le price increase ba-affecta kanjani and yini mhlawumbe engenziwa so that to protect their own financial well-being as residents, because some of them are social grant beneficiaries for abantwana abanye abomkhulu.
Ke bona e ba affecta haholo because I would withdraw 100 rand about charge 10 rand. That particular 10 rand o sa tlo reka ke yo ka khona go ka reka ditamati ka yona. So it's more like a extortion. Ka re o ntsha 100 rand about charge 10 rand banka le yona e sa tlo charge. So if you ba khona ba ka fokotsa di charges tsa bona di too high because 10 rand ena nga khona go reka ditamati le di onions ka diela bana sopo ka ntlong. More or less in that one, but once bona makula ka bona ba berikshane ba buledishane gore more retail shop ha ba re charge at all. Re donza di grant tsa rona mo ha ona chargement. O motho o romela tšhelete ha o yo itse ha ona chargement but mo ba re charge. It's an extortion. Ba re extortion because ba dia tšhelete 10 rand. O ka lebela community is too much. Ke di 10 rand tse ka etse ba ka di collect ao ka letšatši if le gore batho ba continue ba withdraw or motho o nyaka go reka in emergency way ka card ba mo charge that particular 10 rand with a small thing e ka cost ona go 20 rand e be e mo cost 30 rand. So ke bona kare is not fair.
Yabonga, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my sir. Those are the residents here at Abraham Fisherville. One is an activist, but also giving us their input and insights on this problem, but also alluding some of the most important thing when it comes to social issues here. Most people here in Abraham Fisherville are unemployed, and some of them are young people who are not working. Some of them are elderly citizens who are dependent on social welfare. Therefore, as they are saying that, well, if they were to have an emergency situation where they need to withdraw at least 100 rands, that means that a local spaza shop will take 10 rands from that 100 rand, meaning that the person gets left with only 90 rands, which is very, very, costly when it comes to their own financial state. But also, Umama, they're also explaining that when in some of the registered retail shops, which are allowed to really provide those services, customers are not charged. Well, they get charged, the retailers themselves get charged by the banks. However, they are not, the retailers local are not supposed to be, handing over or make people here on the ordinary citizens have them to pay for those charges they get from the bank. So that is the situation here. We've spoken to the owners, now we've spoken to the residents. It will be then only fair, Iman, that we then bring in the people who know the law, who are supposed to be ensuring that such things do not happen. So in the next 2 hours, we'll be speaking to the regulators to give us more information in terms of what penalties can these retailers also get to face, but also the impact and some awareness conversation that South Africans themselves must have when it comes to accessing these services from unregistered local spaza shops.
Yeah, and whether those payment card machines or card payment machines, Zanika, do come with any liabilities for the traders themselves. What's the story there with regard to thresholds for payment and how much they might be liable for? This is an interesting one because I think it's really important for the community as well to understand and to know their rights in a situation like this. Zanika Mklava, we'll come back to him. As you heard, he'll be speaking to the regulators next, and hopefully we get some of those details.